What is up, guys? We are live. Welcome. This is the Wholesaling Houses for Real meetup. Today, we're basically going to be talking about wholesaling houses for real and really bringing everything back to the basics in real estate wholesaling. So let's add some people on here to the actual meetup and let's say hi to everyone. So I'm pretty excited for this one. Always love talking to everyone. And again, if you want the link to this, you got to join the Wholesaling Houses for Real Facebook group. That's how you get the exclusive link here. So pretty excited here. So let's get everyone connected on here. And let's just make sure that we're working pretty well here. All righty. Let's get some people hopping on here. But pretty exciting, pretty exciting. So really what I want to talk about today is bringing wholesaling back to the basics. I feel like most wholesalers really start to make things very complicated. They make the marketing all crazy. They make everything so complicated. And truly real estate wholesaling is a simple process. We're looking for motivated sellers who want to sell the property for a deep discount. We have to go find them. They're not just out there laying around. We got to go out there and market to them. We can talk to them. We put the property under contract. And then from there, we sell it to a cash buyer for a profit. That's as simple as this wholesaling real estate stuff should be. So I'm pretty excited to have everyone on here. So let's get it started. Let's say hi to everyone. So it says here, Blue Stone. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
What's up? Introduce yourself to the group.
Hold on. I'm not really that good with Zoom. Hold on.
Yeah, no worries, man. Take your time.
Okay, yeah, I'm Angelo. I'm actually located in New York. Been going through a lot the past year. I took a course in regards to virtually wholesaling, and I actually took the initiative last month and really started marketing. The market that I'm in is in Tampa. It's pretty aggressive, but I'm learning.
All right, cool. Where in New York are you from?
Queens.
Sweet, that's cool. But yeah,
sweet.
Tampa's a decent market, man. I think I've been to Queens once, but it's a long time ago.
Yeah, what happened over the past year has been really, really bad for the market. Literally, in one of my zip codes, basically like the whole year, we only had like 8 houses for sale. So there was like nothing going on. Yeah.
Jeez. All right.
Yeah.
So you're doing Tampa. Are you really exclusively doing like Hillsborough County, or is it like just the city of Tampa right now?
Well, I actually watched one of your videos, and I'm actually just marketing to all the top zip codes as possible. Just testing out different lists and see which one works best in that market. So I'm actually following a lot of your strategies. You give a lot of information, which has been very helpful.
I appreciate you watching it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Is there any questions you have for me that I can help you with?
Yes. Okay. So I actually got a property under contract, right?
Okay.
One of the issues that I had is I don't know if the contract was necessarily if it works in Tampa, and 2, I don't have boots on the ground. I'm gonna figure out, but title companies. I called a couple of title companies, and a lot of them want you to double close
In Tampa.
Yeah, I called about like 10, and they were strong on you have to have the funds in order to close.
What I want you to do is go to the Tampa wholesale, like find the top wholesalers in Tampa and ask them what title company they use and use those.
Okay.
That'd be my recommendation. Because if they use a big wholesaling company in Tampa, like a big one, because there's a lot of big boys out there doing a lot of deals, just find out what title company they want and what they use, and they'll be very comfortable with wholesaling. You're probably going after like the bougie realtor ones with the nice properties. There only know one way. I would go after the investment friendly ones. Huge difference. They're just telling you stuff you don't need to know. You don't need a double close. Don't worry about that, especially in Florida. I'm not a lawyer, CPA, financial advisor, or anything, but when it comes to Florida, I know my stuff. I just did a wholesale deal today. I didn't need a double close on it. So right here in the state of Florida. So you should be good, man. New York's different, but if you're doing it in Tampa, you should be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And as far as like contracts, I mean, I'm using a contract now. I got it from Rafael Vargas. I know he's not
Okay.
currently doing real estate now, but I don't know if that's still valid because I know he was like wholesaling in Tampa.
Yeah. How many pages is it?
It's actually just one page.
That should work.
It should work.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if he did stuff out of Tampa, and I know he was virtual before he got into like e-commerce and stuff. So nothing but good stuff about him. But yeah, that one should work. I mean, I got one, www.flipwithrick.com/contract. They're all should be fine. His contracts are good. I would probably use my assignment of contract because that one's very good for Florida. I know I use that. Like the ones that I use are the ones straight up in Florida that I use. The assignment of contract, probably use mine. You can keep his contract though. He probably has a pretty good one, but the assignment of contract I would keep for me. So if you go to www.flipwithrick.com/contract, it should hop on.
Okay. Also, another thing with the earnest money deposit, right? I don't know how it is in Florida, but does it go to the title company or does it go to the owner?
Yeah, good question. So I'm telling you, asking this question, there's probably 4 people that wanted it, but they're like embarrassed to ask. So like, trust me, like you're helping people out by asking questions. So thank you. The earnest money, especially in Florida, this is in most states though. The earnest money, okay, you could give it to the seller, but hear me out here. Let's say it's a bad deal and you gave them $1,000, and let's just say you figure out it's a bad deal, and now you gotta get that $1,000 from them. What most likely that seller's probably going to spend it. You know, they're going to go out clubbing one night and lose it all, and then they can't give you $1,000. Now it's screwed. So we put everything with the title company because the title company won't do that, and we can get out of the contract a lot easier. And it's like a paper trail. If let's say the seller wants to get out of the contract, we have earnest money. We have a paper trail there that could actually help us protect us on getting like an affidavit or something if we had to do it. So earnest money, keep it at the title company. That should be the easiest way to do it.
Okay, perfect, perfect. And do you use a different contract? Do you have like a contract for like buyers? I mean, I could look online, but
Yeah. So, like I've said, www.flipwithrick.com/contract. If you message me on Facebook, I'll send it to you if you need that too. So, wholesaling overall, I mean, we talk to the motivated seller, we get that contract, like the one that Raphael has, you get them to sign that one. And what we want to do is basically, we're not selling the house, we're selling the actual contract. So we're selling the contract, not the house. To sell that contract, we're basically just going to assign it, basically give that contract to the buyer in exchange for money, obviously. So $100,000 contract price. Let's say cash buyer walks through, says, I'll give you $120,000 for it, Angelo. Perfect. Here's my, so www.flipwithrick.com/contract. The reason why I promote that so much is, first of all, it's free. Second of all, it's got language in there so the cash buyer doesn't screw you up, because a cash buyer might try to screw you out of a deal if they find out they can get it cheaper. So that's why I'm very careful about that. So you basically do an assignment of contract. It's like that original contract you did, but it basically states that Angelo is selling this deal to Zach Ginn, and it'll basically does the breakdown that Angelo is getting $20,000, Zach's paying 120, and the seller gets 100, and it's pretty much black and white from there. And usually you want about, I like 3,000 to 5,000 earnest money from the actual buyer, the cash buyer, to the title company. And it's perfect. The best one to do. And that's the process. It's pretty smooth. And my assignment of contracts, I explicitly make sure the cash buyer knows I'm making money on it, so they're not freaked out on it. But that's part of the vetting process and the qualification for the cash buyer.
Okay, perfect.
Dude, you're asking actually really good questions.
What was another question that I did have? Yeah, I have a lot of questions because, okay. So basically, pretty much I got the contract I got the contract signed. So now I'm doing an inspection. I don't really have boots on the ground. I've been in the wholesale groups a little bit, asking what they use in order to like take pictures and do an inspection. How do you go about that? Just in general of getting boots on the ground and so forth. Because I know in New York, like you tell somebody about a deal and then they go behind your back and they try to like steal it.
All right, here's the problem. You're in Florida, which is a sunny place for shady people.
Okay.
Where do you think everyone from Florida comes from? They're all from New York. So that's your situation, bro. So never trust anybody in Florida. That is the number one rule. Not even me. Don't trust anyone in Florida. Okay. So that's rule number one. What you want to do is I don't want a wholesaler going by that deal because they're going to try to steal it. Like I love to trust people. I can't. What you're going to do is probably get a photographer or a regular Joe Schmo who probably can't steal the deal from you. So there's like freelance photography services. They're a little more expensive because they got that beautiful camera and stuff. Bro, all you need is a guy with a phone that really could take a video and a picture that's like not super pixelated. iPhones usually have the best reliability on it because if a guy says he has an Android, he either has a really nice Galaxy one or he's got like a potato phone. So I just tell people, make sure you have an iPhone. I'm not like iOS religious or anything with that, but it's best. So usually what I do is go to like the Hillsborough County or the Tampa job site or the for hire one and say, hey, I have a quick job, $30, you go take a picture of a house, literally 30 minutes of work. And what they do, or maybe $40, but they'll just go there. They'll meet the person. Hey, this is my photographer. Or this is the guy who just takes pictures for me. He takes pictures, bing, bing, bing. You tell him to do a video of all the rooms in the house. And so he takes pictures in a video and he gets out of there as soon as possible. Then you have the pictures, you go over it, you talk to the seller, and then you basically use DocuSign. I'd probably just use DocuSign for now on that contract you have them sign it, have you sign it, and then assign it to a buyer. That would be the process of getting the boots on the ground pictures. The next part here is bringing the cash buyer through since you're doing this virtually. The best case scenario is if you put a lockbox on there. So that dude, you would probably, I don't know, like ship him a lockbox or something and then have him put the lockbox on when he goes takes pictures. The seller has to be open to you putting a lockbox on there. The best language to say is, hey, Sally Sue, my partners want to go buy the property and actually look at it. Is it okay if we put a lockbox on it? I don't know what time they'll be able to do it since the property's vacant.
Well, it's actually not vacant. He's actually living in there. And he basically the terms of the contract, he needs to be there until August. He just got into a car accident and, he's dealing with a lot. So he needs a little bit of time. So, I mean, I was just going to go towards like video and basically photos.
Yeah. You could do a Zoom. I know you're not the best with Zoom, but you do a Zoom with a seller. You could probably solve a lot of headache, or a FaceTime or whatever. That could solve a lot of headaches. Okay. Even if you don't have the $40, you just do a Zoom with the seller, man.
Okay. Makes sense.
I know guys that were kind of right when that pandemic hit, they're doing like Zooms only and stuff. Charisse Henry from YouTube, who's watching this also says, use Fidelity Title in Tampa. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put that in the Zoom chat for you to copy.
Okay, perfect.
Charisse is from Trinidad and Tobago. So he's virtual too.
Okay.
So yeah, man, what's the any other questions, man? Let me know, dude. I'm like, I could be here for 5 hours. I don't care.
I don't want to ask you too much questions to take.
All right. Well, I'm going to circle back and I need 3 more questions from you. Okay.
Okay.
That sound good?
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. Perfect. All right. Christian he raised his hand here. So what's up, man?
Hey, Sag. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you? Sorry about that lead that you sent me.
No worries, man. Thanks. It's always good to have all of us here, and I appreciate it.
Sweet, man. What's up?
I contacted my city, and I asked for a tax foreclosed property inventory list, and they sent me this huge list. And I've been looking at these properties, and it looks like they purchased the properties like really, really low. And so I went to the county where you can look at the deed.
Okay.
and it just looks like these people either lost their homes or nobody ever claimed anything, and so they just repossess their homes that way. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those.
Are you talking?
But
Are you talking about
go ahead.
surplus funds?
I'm not sure. They're
Like when they
called
sell the
tax
house and there's
foreclosed
a leftover
property.
on the foreclosure.
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm not too familiar with it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me try to understand this. So there's like super duper niches everywhere. So there's something called surplus funds, where you definitely got to add on this on YouTube if you ever watch my stuff. But it's basically when, let's say, you don't pay your taxes, so they sell your house at an auction for 200,000, and after everything you owed like 150, and you had 50K left over, or maybe even like 20K, and you didn't even like claim it because you thought you owed nothing. And then there's just a surplus that the government holds on for like a year or two. And those people basically pull that list and cold call those guys and say, hey, you got 30,000 left over. Can I help you out? When really they had 40,000 left over, and then you keep the 10 and give them the 30. That's called surplus funds. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, or like, there's so many real estate, man. I go deep rabbit hole in all of them, but
no, I hear you. These properties are owned by the city where I live in, right? That's the current owner, the city.
Okay.
So I called the city and I said, hey, I'm looking at this. I did my comps and everything. I looked at this property. They bought it for $23,000. Well, the comps say the after repair value it's like 110,000 or something. So I called them and I said, hey, I would like to know if you can sell me this property. They said, yeah, that house is going to be, they're going to destroy it. They're going to demolish it, and they're going to sell the land just because it's not livable, I guess. But she said, go through the list. There's more properties that you can purchase. Just give us a call back, blah, blah, blah. Are those
the
properties
city, right?
okay to yeah,
okay.
The city owns all these properties.
Okay. And what's
my question?
What's the question?
And what's my question? My question is, have you ever done something like this? These properties are like, I'm looking at the purchase price here, 23,000, 4,000, 5,000. There's some for like $1 million, right? I don't know. They're huge homes, but there's a lot of homes that are really cheap. So my question is, can I still go talk to the city, negotiate some sort of price, and then just wholesale it?
Yeah, you can. Like, I'll be honest with you, straight up. If I was able to do that in Port Saint Lucie, I would. Like, that'd be the best, right? Like, if I could negotiate and make it'd be the greatest thing ever. I've yet to see a guy wholesale exclusively from a city. The city, when they're greedy, as they should be, and they bid them up usually. Kind of like a tax deed sale, they'll just bid it up on an auction style. That's kind of how they do it. I've rarely seen it happen. I've seen banks work, special short sales, but from the city, I haven't seen it happen. But if you can do it, go for it, man. Usually they won't let it go for under what the thing is worth, from my experience, or they'll just hold on to it. Like banks do that with the, especially with the foreclosures that happened when they foreclosed on those houses in 2010. They kept it, and then they started like slowly easing those out and selling them. But yeah, usually they got realtors and stuff. I mean, it's government. What do you expect? So it's usually a good boys club. But if you can get into it, like a small city, possibly. They're all ran differently though.
Okay, I'll look into it. Talk to the person, and I'll get back to you. See what they say. See if I can do something like that. Awesome. Thanks, man. The second question is, do you have a video? And if you don't, do you plan on making a video on how to really just set up the whole the text, the software, like the link that you gave us to sign up, the batch dates or whatever?
Yeah, I got two. Just go to SMS. It should pop up there, or batch leads playlist on Flip with Rick YouTube channel. It'll be on there. I had one where I had with Michelle, and then one where I had one guy who asked the same question. I said, let's just go live and do it together. So yeah,
okay.
it's a little longer, but it's still a full process. Raw live.
Okay. No, that's fine. I'll look into it. Thanks, man.
Sweet, man. Always here to help.
Thanks for that. Yeah, I got on a phone call with them. They called me and say, hey, we can do a video walkthrough, but it was like 30 minutes and it was so fast. And there's so many things that I was like, man, this is not helpful. But anyway, thanks for that, man. Thanks for that info.
Anything I do to help, let me know.
Awesome, man. Well, that's it for me.
All right, dude. Any other questions? You let me know, man. You're always happy to help. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. Sweet. All right. Next here we got Anjali, right? Anjali?
Anjali.
All right. I'm getting it.
You're getting it. That was a good try.
All right. How are you doing today?
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that we didn't miss it. My husband will be over in just a second. We have a little guest over here who's awake from her nap, but we're going to make it through this anyway. So Zach, thank you so much for all of this, because I know that there's a lot of questions that we have. And to be honest with you, we have so many, we don't even really know where to start. But so first question, we got on to pull up some of these different lists from PropStream. PropStream, sorry.
Your husband's Ken, right? Is it Ken?
Kenneth.
All right. Okay. My memory's coming back. Okay. All right. Cool.
I mean, it's a lot of people. We get it. So
how's it going, Ken?
List. What's up, man?
So we got this list. First of all, we're trying to figure out the niche that we want to focus on. There's a lot of auctions that are coming up, right? We live in LA County. There's a lot going on. Foreclosures just seem smart for us to do. Maybe you can speak to that, but got this list. There's auctions coming up like early May. And I know it may be a short timeline, but what if we could help the homeowners? We'd love to be able to do that and still be able to make a profit, but we don't know what to do past this list. We're looking at all the different numbers. There's a lot to examine here, and we just don't really know what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm trying to save you some headache, but it's gonna be very sad. LA County is gonna be very hard for you to do any of this stuff. Let's say you go, there's two ways you can do it. Either you can be the person that tries to go to the foreclosure and get the best bid and try to make a profit there. There's 5 million families in China that will outbid you all cash tomorrow. Especially they want to buy a lot of stuff in the metros, Los Angeles, Miami, New York. So you're going to lose on that side. Hedge funds too. Like
you're talking about at the auction, right?
Huh?
Are you talking about at the auction?
Yeah, at the auction.
I'm not talking about at the auction. I'm talking about going to the homeowner before their it's auction.
Tax delinquencies. You can get them on PropStream pretty easily.
That's what this is.
Yeah, you won't be the first person to do it in LA, but you could do it pretty well. The problem is there's gonna be a lot of guys and gals trying to hit up that list.
Okay.
The main issue you're gonna find there is if you try to cold call this list, they're not gonna answer, because if they're not paying their taxes, they're probably not paying their credit card bill. And that means loan sharks and loan officers are going to be calling them nonstop. So they're already not even going to answer their phones. So the only thing that works is SMS and direct mail for people behind on taxes. So it's a sticky situation. And then half the time they list it. Tax delinquencies are very hard in saturated markets. So it's definitely an uphill battle already. I'd skip that. I'd go east to Riverside, Inland Empire if I were you. That's my personal opinion.
Okay.
But LA County, I haven't seen anyone make it work in LA County.
Why?
That's just the honest truth.
The amount of people?
It's just the amount of people, the pricing there. Like just the $300,000 houses in LA County are like single family are very tough. You go out to Inland Empire, it's a lot easier.
Okay.
You can virtually wholesale anywhere in the country though.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do anywhere in the Southeast, like do Tennessee. My personal opinion, you'll do so much more success if you do the Southeast, like very low populations, very low price points than in LA County in your own backyard.
Okay.
That's what I've seen. I mean, the best wholesaler I know in Los Angeles County right now, well, two. Pretty sure Kang's out there, and I know Lauren Hardy's out there, and they're all virtual. I follow their lead there because I don't live there. So every top wholesaler I know that lives there is doing it virtual, and I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. That's my opinion.
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Probates. And I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but there's a lot of probates here in LA County.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people there.
There's a lot of everything, right? So I'm just wondering, would it be worth it to reach out to probate attorneys and somehow try to get some work with them? I'm just like, what do we have in our hands? And what can we do with what we have in our hands?
You could virtually wholesale for free, just like you're doing it in LA. So don't think like you have to just do it there. My issue is I can't give an A-OK on it because I don't know one guy in or gal in Los Angeles that are making wholesaling work at a good scale, like a good, healthy scale. Like eventually I want you in a market where you can make $400,000 or $500,000 a year in profit. Probably what you guys want more. I don't know one person in Los Angeles that's doing that. I know some flippers, but those guys are very they got the crews and everything. It's way too complicated right now. That's kind of what I'm saying right now. You can go out and try it. I just haven't seen anyone have success with it. And I can't tell you to do something blind. I can't recommend that. So I mean, we closed a bunch of deals in Tennessee like last year. So I know that stuff works. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Would you have anybody on your team that would be able to help either walk us through a deal in Riverside or somewhere in the Southeast?
You can go contact people in Riverside that will probably JV with you. It'd be better to have someone like right there.
Okay.
So you can partner up with a bunch of people there.
Okay. Awesome.
But yeah, that's probably what I do. The prices are once a price point is too high, it's very hard to make those deals work.
Is it because it's hard to find a cash buyer for that level?
Oh, no, cash buyer is easy. It's just the seller's not willing to take a discount enough, especially on a very high price point.
Yeah, because a lot of these houses have such high equity too. Like the equity levels are just crazy in some of these houses, over 50% equity.
That's insane.
Yeah, so to walk away from that kind of money, I get that.
And people, if you got $100,000 house that needs a lot of work, they just walk away from it.
Yeah.
So that's the issue with probates. Kind of like I'm telling you, Los Angeles. You're not even wholesalers, not even your issue in a probate in Los Angeles County. It's the realtors. I have to compete with realtors on all my probate deals now. The realtors will hammer that list like crazy. So that's the issue.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that takes us back to square one.
I know. Well, I mean, you're here every week, so don't worry about that. But I would look it up, look up Los Angeles wholesaling and do your research on it. I personally haven't found one person that's done very well.
Okay.
I know people that wholesale in New York City, but they're they know commercial like the back of their hand, and they work for hedge funds for 15 years in the city. So they do the little niche stuff. San Francisco too. The guys I know out there that do very well because they do land deals, and they make they'll do $200,000-$300,000 deals a year, and that's it. But they have a full team. Los Angeles, I haven't seen it. But the suburbs outside of it, I know guys easily making $1 million per year in doing Riverside, but they live in Los Angeles.
Okay.
So I know that works. So that's where I'd steer you towards, because I want to bring you towards a blueprint that works.
No,
that's what I would do.
That. When JVing, do you have any advice? We don't know what a JV deal should, the structure of the deal. We don't know what that's supposed to look like. What do you advise? Yeah.
So the cool part is, remember, you don't have to learn everything today or tomorrow. You gradually just get 1% better every day, and it's compounds like crazy. So you being years better than 90% of everyone who's even watched this on YouTube. So props to you here. So the JVing process, I got 1 billion videos on. It's just JV space flip. Whatever question you have, space flip with Rick, I know I probably have a video, over 400 videos. So other people call it co-wholesaling. It's basically when you partner up with a deal with someone. For example, last month I had a guy who put a property under contract in Port Saint Lucie. And they said, I have this under contract for $100,000 and I just can't sell this thing. It's impossible for me to sell it. And I'll say, well, I got a lot of cash buyers. So just let's do a JV agreement. So we wrote down on paper, I agree if I find a buyer for this deal that I will get 50% of the profits. And he had it under contract for like 90 and he was trying to sell it for 100. No, he had it on contract for 100. He was trying to sell it for like 120. He couldn't get it sold. So I JV'd with him at the 100 and I found a buyer for 120. I made 10. He made 10. So that's how it worked. I found the buyer and at the end it was $20,000 in assignments. I got half of it. He got the other half.
Gotcha.
That's how JVing works. So if you're on the other end where you get the seller and you get under contract, but you can't find a buyer, someone like me over there that has I get you guys connected with the top people over there. If you need like JVing help, but that's the way you would probably do it. So they'll help you find the buyer too. But right now it's very easy to find a cash buyer. It's getting the deal. That's the hard part.
Okay. And then just having a quick written agreement about splitting the profits.
Yeah. It'd be a joint venture agreement, joint partnership agreement. They're actually pretty simple and they're not really that complicated, like the contracts.
Okay. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No worries.
Thanks, Zach.
If you have any more questions, let me know. So next year we have Cherries.
Hey, Charles, you hearing me?
Oh yeah, doing great. How's paradise on the islands?
I'm in a hotel, getting ready to go to work. You know, we had a quarantine for like 5 days. I don't like it. I mean, the hotel's fine, but I still don't like it. I'd rather be somewhere else on the beach. They locked down back the beaches again because of COVID, so no one's allowed on the beaches again. So, and I think the beaches is good for COVID, but there's the people who don't bathe on the beach, probably, you know, causing the issue. But once you bathe, the salt water is good for the COVID, you know. So basically, that's it. I did a deal last week in Northport, a piece of land, and I co-wholesaled with another guy. We made $3,500 each, you know. That's just on a land deal, sold it for 15 in Northport there, you know. But because of my job, full-time job, I think I would kind of zone in on dispositions. So I'll be looking for more collabs with wholesalers and looking for buyers. And I know inventory is tight right now. Yeah, but I'm also working in Florida market. But I have plenty links in the LA market and so on. I've set up co-wholesalers too. So, you know, if anybody need any links there, I have legitimate wholesalers that do good business up there. Cool.
Okay. You have any questions?
No. I ain't doing enough work to have questions yet. I need to do more work. And then I would encounter issues and then I would have questions. You know?
All right. Well, get the
I'm
work.
good for now. Yeah, I'm just listening. Yeah, cool.
All right. Cool. Sweet. All right. Justin, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
Doing great, man. Every day above ground's a beautiful day.
Yes, sir. Every day.
What's up? You have any questions or anything about the group?
Nope. Just hanging out, listening to everybody.
Right. Sweet, man. Thanks for coming on this week.
Absolutely. Thank you, Zach.
Sweet. And then we got Peggy. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. I actually do have some questions today.
Awesome.
Sorry, my microphone keeps coming off. I actually wrote them in the box because I thought I was going to have to leave. But so I'm kind of tagging in on the where to put the earnest money, and I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago because I've been to a couple of trainings by different people, and they had said, you know, okay, well, once you get the contract signed, while you're still there, just hand the client, you know, $10 or $20 as at least a deposit to say, you know, this you can keep if nothing else. And then when you get the end buyer, they do the full earnest money deposit. Is that not something that goes over with most places?
I would not do that. And just losing 20 bucks. I mean, the reason I say this is, I mean, I used to have $300 in my bank account. 20 bucks is a lot of money to me. So I wouldn't do that. You'll probably never get that money back. So
No,
you
that's the point. Yeah. If
Yeah.
it falls through, it falls through is what but okay. I mean, I'm just saying that's what I had heard the very first time I heard about wholesaling. That's what somebody had said. And then I listened to
do it.
something that same girl did again, yes, last night. And she said the same thing over again. I was like, okay, well, I'm getting different stories here, but to each their own. And I want to do what's the right thing. But I mean, really, I don't have $1,000 to throw at
Do $100.
Hmm?
Just do $100 then.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then, is it okay to be honest with the seller and say that, cause you do get on the phone and you say, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I work with a lot of I work with a lot of cash buyers kind of thing. Is it honest to say I'm the middleman and that I'm not going to be the buyer when you're doing that? Or is it bad form to do that?
Go ahead and say it. I mean, your chance of getting a deal will probably go down. But when I say I'm buying a house cash, I mean, the house is being bought cash. I'm always upfront with the seller. I buy it or my partner's going to buy it for cash.
Okay.
I mean, I say it.
That's basically what I said. And then
your partner
I
is a
did
cash
listen
buyer.
to I did listen. Yeah, I had a problem finding a cash buyer on my last contract. It expires tomorrow, and I lost my $20. Oh well, it is what it is. Like I actually had somebody that was going to JV on it, and they even said, "Oh no, that's way too far out in the boonies. My advice, don't go too far out out in the country because you're not going to find cash buyers." But you learn that the hard way, right?
Yeah.
And then the last question is, I listened to your for sale by owner thing the other day on YouTube. I wasn't on the live one, but I listened to it right afterwards. And so I did go out and pull a for sale by owner list. And today I was semi off from work. So I did some calling. I found a gentleman who has an interest. He has a motivation. He says he's got a lot of properties that he's going to try and get rid of. So then when I looked at further, I figured out he's probably got 10 properties. But he was not to be any derogatory, but he was hard to understand. It was an Asian gentleman and he was hard to understand. But then he was like, I asked him right off the bat, do you have time to talk for a few minutes? And he said yes. And then immediately after he told me he had properties, he was like, me so busy. I can't talk right now. And he said, I'll email you. I'll text you the list of properties. I already have the list, but he was very adamant. He was going to just text it to me, but he didn't ask for my number. And it was my Google Voice number. I mean, he could message my Google Voice number, but I haven't gotten anything. Do I keep following up with him? Because he kind of hung up.
Call him. It's the easiest way to do it. Just call.
Because he has multiple properties and but you always just start with the one. I mean, because I looked at the one first because it was actually driving for dollars too, because I had passed it because it's on my route to work. But then I realized it was for sale by owner. So I
call him tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I hate to pester people. That's just.
You have to learn to love it for wholesaling. And you're helping people out. So I don't see it too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw the video I did at make 100K a year. You got to call every single lead once to twice a week. Even if they said, call me in 2 months, call them every week. Hey, just checking in, seeing how you're doing. Not even about real estate. How are you doing? Okay.
Yeah.
No
I have another guy that I'm going to do that with in 2 weeks. He actually is a disabled vet who lives in South Carolina, has a property up here that it rents and it is rented. But he's looking to have an open house on it on the 1st. And I figured I'd give him a call right after that to see how it went.
Yeah, I mean,
there's pictures of it and it needs some help.
It's not pestering if you actually care about them. So it's perfect.
Okay.
Sweet.
Thank you.
No worries. Any other questions?
No, not tonight.
All right. No worries. Sweet. So, looks like we have, let's see. Ken, what's up?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, what's up?
Can you hear me?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Talking to Kenny or Ken?
Is it Kenny or Ken?
Well, I'm Kenny, but I see a Ken on there. I didn't want to cut him,
There's three Kenneths on here.
All right.
So I gotta make sure. So I guess Kenny, technically.
Well, anyway, I just, I was doing some stuff in here, catching up on some paperwork from the day from some contracts. I'm just auditing in. Always learn nuggets from you, and I don't have any questions. But if somebody needs something, I'd be glad to help too. No, I'm huge supporter. I don't have anything to ask or anything. But anybody, you guys are doing great.
Sweet. If you have a creative finance question in Texas, hit up Kenny. He's the dude.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, now we got the other kid on here. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, good. I'm doing good. Thanks. Sorry, headset problems there. But yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks. Yeah, I got a couple questions today, definitely. One is, I've been on a few other times and was speaking to you that my, plan was to do text message marketing in my area, but I'm on, I use FreedomSoft for my CRM and everything. And so
All right.
he has his own group where, obviously you can ask questions about the software, but people talk about also real estate in general. So, but somebody asked him about this regulation that was signed like back in 2019, but it's going to start being enforced heavily in like June. It's called, where the heck was it? It's called the Traced Act. It stands for Telephone Robocall Abuse, Criminal Enforcement, and Deterrence. And he's of the opinion that once this happens, like text message marketing and, cold calling, it's pretty much gonna be done. Because, he's saying, this thing is called the Enforcement Act. So it's not just a law that they're going to ignore. Like the whole point of it is they're going to start enforcing it. Have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Rob's a really smart dude. So his opinions equal whatever I got. So shout out to him. But I honestly don't know how it's going to play out. I think it's May, right? May 1st.
I don't see different things. He's saying June 30th, but then he said some of it's already being enforced. I'm not sure.
Honestly, the only way I can give you my opinion on it, it's like doing a pregame football coverage. It's like, just watch the game and see what happens and make it audible. I can debate it all day. I've seen it. Is it because they're going to start enforcing it, or is they're going to not start enforcing it? What's going to stop it? Really, I just got to see. I could be completely wrong on this. Maybe it shuts everything down forever. I won't know. So, hey, if it shuts down the SMS a lot more, I'll get way more niche into everything. If it stops cold calling, I'll get very niche in the cold calling. You can't stop me from dialing on my phone, like phone numbers on Zillow. And then I'll just change the phone numbers up. And that's really it. It might shut down dialers, like 12-line dialers, but you could probably still do single line on it. So cold calling is still going to be a thing. Just the way cold calling works. Like if I personally, as a company, have to call my appointments. So let's say I'm at a doctor's office and I have to call 100 elderly patients a day to confirm their appointments. Is that predatory? Is that going to be cut out? Are they going to ban that? No. So, but if I have to do a robocall, which is completely different than me personally calling, especially on a triple line dialer, like an RVM, probably RVM is going to get a lot worse. But if they're just going to beef up enforcement, if I'm within the TCPA compliance, I'm fine. Telephone Communication Protection Act of 1991. So if I'm personally calling from 9 to 5, I should be fine. It just changed maybe the way you do it, but cold calling will be fine. I know that for a fact. There's just too much special interest for cold calling. So that should be fine. SMS is the interesting one. Depends what Twilio does. Twilio is really the one that kind of controls it. They're the big company that controls it. From what I know is like Uber does a bunch of stuff, DoorDash. So they're legally getting around it and they're fine with it. I just got to see what happens. And then I'll tell you guys what's going on and kind of what's going on in my business. But I'm an open book, man. I'll tell you exactly what's going on.
Right. Okay. in addition to that, like, kind of what my plan was, while I was going to be pursuing, text messaging, and, I was going to target, again, spoken to you about it before, we're going to target absentee owners. And then if I couldn't get enough of those, maybe some high equity also. But I also was thinking about throwing in some driving for dollars. I mean, I don't have time to, drive all week, but I figure I can find 3 or 4 hours in the week and maybe add some leads that are hopefully, going to be more fruitful. I had asked you this before too, said something about like, if, so if I find an address, I skip trace them, I can't get in touch with them. What do I do next? And you said, leave a note on the door, leave something in the mailbox. What if it appears to be an abandoned house and the mailing address, but it's not absentee owner? So you got an abandoned house, but the mailing address is the same as the property address. But if you mail anything there, nothing's going to happen because like the windows are boarded up. Is there any suggestions on the next level of, detective work to find out?
Yeah. My favorite one, dude. I think I told you, but I'll say it again. Facebook message them.
Facebook message them.
Hey, this is Ken. I got a really important question. Please give me a call back. They see Ken's local, probably pretty important. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
You'll get someone's attention very quickly. If someone randomly from your local county or city Facebook messages you, there's a 95% chance you're going to open that.
Right.
Mostly everyone's got a Facebook. So you're part of my Facebook group. So you definitely have a Facebook. So that would be part 2 on the detective work. Part 2 is you find the relatives and then message them, seeing if, hey, let's say it's the daughter or whatever. Hey, I had a really quick question for Ken. Is this the right number or is this Ken?
Right.
No. This is okay. Cool. Can I go contact him on this number? Perfect. That's what I would do.
Okay.
Detective work leads, they're killer, man.
Right. Okay. And one more question, because I was going through, some vacant leads, trying to use vacant houses as targets to go driving for dollars for, so I can go check those out. And then on the way, maybe find some more, some of these are coming up, and, I think somebody else mentioned in one of their questions earlier, something like I see one that's owned by the county. If something's owned by the county, like what's usually the deal with that? Like, what's the county going to do with it?
Most of the time, either they got it stuck for maybe a development or something, or they're just holding it on. They don't know what to do with it. Most of the time, they'll just sell it if it's through a tax sale. But usually when the county owns it, it's always weird. The counties sometimes own weird houses. Sometimes you see like a crazy awesome deal, and then you'll look it up, and like the bank, like Deutsche Bank or something owns it, which is it's the worst feeling because you get excited about a deal. So usually the city, it's very hard to buy from them. Okay. If I was able to, I would. I just haven't been able to make it work. And it's been 4 years, and I still can't figure out. Rick, 18 years, still can't figure it out. So it's tough.
All right. Yeah, I just want to know, like, so those ones I'll probably just cross off my list.
Most likely.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
No worries, man. Thank you. And then next here we got Peter. What's up, man?
Hi, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. So actually today I have one question. I have an end buyer. She already bought like 3 houses from me. And for the next one, she said she doesn't want title insurance. And I just want to know what's the difference, like, of the transaction, if the title company is going to handle it or not, because I know the title insurance is like, it's covering the title company if they, do any mistakes or not. So they also covered by the title insurance. And how to handle this transaction if she doesn't want a title insurance? Do you know anything about it?
That's a tough one. I mean, your cash buyer is being stupid. You know that.
I know, but she's buying like crazy. A lot of from tax and she just do title search, but she doesn't do like title insurance.
Yeah,
And
this is in Jersey, right?
I have a scheduled phone with the title company. I have scheduled phone call on Monday, and my title agent, she will explain me everything, because she said there is a way to do it. But I just wanted to know before the meeting, maybe you guys know something about it.
Yeah. This is in New Jersey?
No, the deal going to be in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So there's multiple ways to do it. Literally, as you as a wholesaler, you really don't care. I'm just trying to help them out because I feel I just don't, the amount of wholesale deals I've had that have crazy title issues that get crazy like all the time. So your cash buyer is just being stupid. I don't, there'd be a situation, but what I would say here is you can get paid either way. Like if it's 120,000, you had it on a contract for 100, they just give you a check for 20 and then they buy it for 100. They can do that too, or they'll wire 120 out and then 100 goes to you 20. But most likely you just get a check for the full amount of it. Not really that bad. And then they can sign the deed over. You probably have to be a little more control of that, but you can do that too. You're just gonna have to help work the seller a little more, and then your cash buyer is going to buy a couple of those and then get freaked out. Because the issue is when they want to resell it, it's going to be a lot harder to get title insurance. Very hard. If they're flipping it, they get a reissue credit, so it's very cheap. Is this cash buyer just doing a buy and hold type thing on it?
I think she's going to be doing the rent to own.
Okay. It should be fine, but remember, let her know. I'm just trying to protect you so you don't lose this cash buyer. They'd be like, let them know when they do the rent to own thing, they will have to close. So, no, you can still get your check, man. Not the end of the world. Now, I'm going to tell you what the title company is going to tell you. Peter, I want to get paid, so you should go through me. They'll tell you the same risks I told you. For you, you're getting the same 20 grand. So it won't affect your bottom line. It's actually harder without a title company, but you're still getting paid either way. I don't know Pennsylvania law like really well, but I know you'll get paid either way. So it's not the end of the world for you.
Gotcha.
And at the end of the day, it's about you making the most money. So if that's the way she's buying it, so be it.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries, man. Any other questions?
No, not for today.
All right,
That's
man. I appreciate it. Keep hammering.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks. And then next here we got Morris James. James Morris. All right. If you want to hop on, just unmute yourself. We can talk. And then,
how you doing, Zach?
Dude, I'm doing amazing. How are you?
Doing great. I just had one one question this evening. Kind of piggybacking on the gentleman that was talking about the SMS. I had heard the same thing about the upcoming change that's going to happen because I was getting ready to start some SMS marketing. So you kind of answered that. So that was good. So we're just going to kind of play it by ear and kind of keep in touch with you and see what what happens with that, because I'm here in San Antonio, and so text SMS is working pretty well here for some of my associates.
Dude, if I had a crystal ball, I'd be a very rich person. So like, honestly, like I could tell you whatever. We don't know till it happens. So maybe it's not like a big deal, or maybe it is. Yeah. I'm definitely very concerned of it. I'm probably going to do a very light load of SMS whenever that hits in May or June. And probably just put that money in direct mail that month and just kind of see what's going on just to protect myself. But I just got to see. But yeah, it's definitely very interesting.
Okay. All right. Well, that was going to be my question, but we appreciate all of your input, man. I've been on with you guys the last couple of weeks and really enjoying the Facebook activity and the YouTube videos and everything. So really, really helping out a lot. So appreciate you, man.
No worries, man. No worries. Everyone also watching this on YouTube, go to Wholesaling Houses for Real, the Facebook group. That is how you get the link on here. You can't get on right now. I kind of close it off, but that's how people are getting on here. You got to be in the mastermind, and if you're not a guru, I'll let you in. So I'm putting the link on the YouTube for the people, but sweet, man. And then let's see. Next here we got Denny.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, man. How are you?
Good, good. First time caller, long time listener.
Sweet, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I've got a easy, well, probably a quicker question, and I got a couple other ones that may take a little bit
Dude,
longer.
I can be here all day. Like, seriously. I'm
Good stuff, man. Appreciate
no
you.
sports. Telling you.
So the first one is just kind of about my two campaigns are cold calling and SMS. So I've got a cold caller out in the Philippines, and I'm also doing text messaging. Part of the reason why I started with the SMS is because I noticed that my cold callers were really only getting a hold of maybe like 22% of the lists that they were calling, and so 78% are pretty much not available.
What market?
Just not picking. I'm doing a Detroit market.
Sweet.
I'm out of San Diego though.
Wayne County is amazing, man.
Yeah, so I'm doing Wayne County, Oakland County, and Macomb County.
Nice.
So my question for you is, when you're doing those campaigns, are you doing those simultaneously, or like right now, I was just trying to squeeze every ounce of juice out of my list by just kind of texting the people that they hadn't gotten a hold of. But if I get another list, should I just go ahead and have the cold callers code call the list as well as text message the list at the same time?
Okay, so what I do is, for you, what I do is I'd get your big list or whatever, master list. I'd dedicate to cold calling that list, and I'd SMS text blast that list after, and kind of do results from there. Now, you can do it by zones, sort of closer to what I do, because you kind of have a lot of marketing to do. Like, you got a lot of counties. So I would probably try to cold call a very general list, and then SMS blast a niche list, and then vice versa, cold call the niche list and then SMS blast the general list. That's kind of what I'm thinking, because you're not like in crazy zones right now, but
yeah, right now I'm doing, like, I've had my code callers call my Detroit list for 6 weeks straight. And then after they've gone through like 13 rounds of it, then I just take that list and start to text message, and now I have them going through my Oakland County list.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good system right now. And you just got to test it out and see. But
Sure.
I love doing a big list, cold calling it first, and then SMS text blasting or SMS text blasting, cold calling. Like, if you've listened to me enough, you probably know this. You'll get deals out of your SMS that you've never gotten cold calling, and then you got cold calling deals that SMS would have never worked. So do both. That's what I'd say.
Fantastic.
But don't SMS probates though. I've never had that work.
I haven't done that yet. So yeah, good call. Because I am starting to work on probates as well. The other question I had for you is, gosh, what was it? Now I'm drawing a blank.
No worries, man.
Come back to me then.
I'll come back to you, man. And then you ask me the question, or you're probably going to get it. Like, you're going to use the bathroom at like 4 a.m. and you're going to like, oh my gosh. So whatever, like, it hits you, just message me. I'll go answer it, man.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate you.
Sweet. And then next year we got Doug from Houston. You got any questions, Doug?
What's up? No, just listen.
All right, man. Keep it up, dude.
All right. Appreciate it.
Sweet. All right. And we talked to Bluestone. So Kelly, what's up?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. How are you?
I'm fine. First of all, Saj, thank you for the help you're giving to us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I have a first question. So I have this very hot late in Florida. But the thing is that the house is from a couple. The couple is pretty old. I think the husband is like 95 and she's like 86. I think is that they live in Alabama. So I know she want to get down to Florida to take some stuff out of the property. So I don't know if maybe wait for that and sign there, because it's really difficult for her to understand the process and all of that, or maybe create some urgency and send a notary to her in Alabama. Don't know which route to take.
Okay. I'm in the boat here of just getting it signed as soon as possible, if it's not going to affect the price. If you think you get an insanely better price doing it in person, I'd wait. But if you don't think it's that big of a deal, you already have the price kind of already talking to them, I would probably get the urgency done and get it signed as soon as possible. You just don't want to risk another wholesaler coming in and stealing the deal from you.
Yeah, that was what I thought. Yeah. Thank you.
Sweet, man. Speed kills in wholesaling. It always will. Always.
Yeah. Thank you, Sach.
No worries, man. Thanks. And then next here we got Sean. How are you?
What's going on, man?
Doing great, man. How are you?
Good. I just got a quick question about how do you go about wholesaling with a realtor? I know a lot of times with realtors, of course they got to use their they want to use their own contract, or do you try to get them to do like a percentage on the side and still use your contract?
Okay, so I got some videos on this wholesaling. Are you wholesaling with a realtor or wholesaling on the MLS?
No. I do my wholesaling on my own, but I just know sometimes it's been realtors that'll contact me about my deals, but they want to use their buyer want to use their contract.
Nope.
I know, but and that's what I'm wondering, because I see people who do use realtors, and I'm trying to figure out how do they go about doing that. Like, do they try to cut a side deal with them on the side? Like, they'll get them like a 20% like percentage of the deal, or like how do they do that?
So there's multiple ways you can do this. Depends. So if you have a wholesale contract, if you have a wholesale deal under contract and you send it to a realtor, this is thing number one. I am very aggressive with a realtor. It's a privilege to be on my cash buyers list. And if you give me any ifs, ands, or buts, you're out. And you won't even get a good deal. And you won't look like a rock star in front of your buyer. So I make sure you're dealing with me, and it's my way or the highway. When they start telling me what to do, then everyone hears you want to be a cash buyer employee. So every realtor I deal with, they're okay with my one-page contract because it's good enough. It's good enough to get that house bought. My title company will provide title insurance with my contract. So I know my thing works well. And I explain if they don't want to do it, hey, you don't have to get the discounted properties from me. I'll just sell it to someone else. They already know how hot this market is.
And that's kind of been what my experience has been too. I'm just wondering because I see people who do work with realtors, and I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, dude, I work with realtors all the time.
But they just still make them use your contract.
What state are you in?
I'm in Virginia.
Yeah, easily. Just use your contract, man, and just find a realtor that's okay with it. Usually it's an ego thing that they want to be in control. And remember, in a wholesaling deal, you are the person in control. You're not letting the realtor have any control. Because then they start controlling the seller and they start talking to the seller and you have no control over it. It's a very slippery slope. So you keep all the control.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
No worries, man. Anything I do to help, let me know.
All right.
Sweet. And then next year we got Ed.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. I always see you commenting on the YouTube. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, I'm 18. I'm about to graduate high school. And I've already laid down the fundamental education from wholesaling, like the basis on what the process is. I just had a few missing fragments for me to ask you to get the puzzle right for me to actually begin pretty soon, actually, which is exciting, but also kind of frightening because first time. Anyways, my question is,
what market are you in?
I'm in the Texas market.
Sweet.
Right. So my question is, since I'm starting as a sole proprietor, because I still can't incorporate an LLC because my capital is very limited right now.
You don't need to.
Right. Yeah. What would be your concerns being an LLC? No, wait, sole proprietor. That's what I meant.
I mean, again, I'm not a tax person or tax expert, but I know enough. I'm basically self-taught in a lot of tax stuff. So really, okay. So honestly, get your first 2 deals and then you should have plenty of money to do an LLC or S Corp. So don't even start getting there. Just get 2 deals first and then focus on it.
Right, get those 2 lucky fish.
Huh?
Get those 2 lucky fish.
Yep, that's it, man. Then do it from there. Do it. My first deal, I never incorporated. It's just my name. I didn't know what I was doing though. So, but yeah, just get 2 deals. Focus on that before you start focusing on the tax stuff.
Right. And so I'm having a bit like of learning like curve, trying to like understand it. So basically what the process is either getting lists from, let's say, Call or Title themselves, right? Skip trace lists, and then I can use a dialer like Zencall and use that dialer to be able to call, cold call the sellers. So here's my problem. I've heard that people get their phone flagged as spam. Is that something I need to worry about?
Yeah, you just switch out the phone numbers.
You can do that?
Yep. Zencall, Mojo, it's basically already built into that.
Oh, that's so true relief. I didn't know that.
So yeah, I always switch out my phone numbers.
Well, besides that, just one more question, and it's just for title related. When it's the close of escrow, I can either choose to get my my assignment fee by wire, like wire transfer, or I can just go to the office and get the check or get it mailed to me. How does that work exactly?
Yeah. So I'm telling you right now, just pick up the check right now. I have a video called, just search wire space flip with Rick. It's like a 10-minute breakdown of it. Honestly though, get the check right now. I say make your first 100K, pick up the check. It's more of a mental thing. It'll be better.
Well, I'm all in for the journey. That's it.
That's it, man. I believe in you, dude.
Thank you, Zach.
One last question for you. What is your why? Why are you doing this?
My why is, well, I didn't really wake up one day and say real estate is fun. I woke up one day and was like, real estate is the way for financial freedom. That's really why I'm doing it. Because I already have all the time in the world. I just want to be able to have my own revenue so I can maintain it for the long term, for the long ride. And I could just go off from there, you know?
Yeah, I like it. You say you don't like real estate starting out, and then eventually you start doing free Zooms and just start talking to people about real estate for free, just because you like it so much. So it's a very thin line before you get there. But yeah, man, you do enough deals, you'll start just having a passion for it. But yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. Congrats.
Thank you, Zach. Love your videos.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And then we had I'm definitely saying her name wrong. Malikio. How do I say your name, man? Or ma'am? I'm sorry. All right. And then I guess last I can go back to Bluestone here for his 3 questions.
Okay, hold on. And my name is Angelo. I don't know why.
Angelo. Okay, sorry. I keep.
No, it's cool. Okay, I actually got something live right now. So I was actually negotiating with a seller from Tampa. And pretty much I gave him an offer he said he wanted 175, but he was going to go with the highest and best. And pretty much he said, okay, I'll settle at 185. He just called me like 10 minutes ago and was like, oh, some guy just came in and pretty much wants to give him 190 and he's going with the highest bidder. How do you like deal with something like that being virtually, because I can't physically be in front of him?
I mean,
just one more question, and it's just for title related.
Basically you got to do it over the phone. That's really it. You just can't be in-person. Communication is the best, but if you can't, you just do it over the phone, or maybe even a Zoom if you had to. But I mean, you definitely had a communication disadvantage, but if you're good enough on the phones, you can overcome it.
Yeah, I just let him know just now, like, I was going to send him like proof of funds and stuff like that just to make it look good because I'm not in front of him. But you know, he said the guy's going over there with the contract, so it's kind of like, you know, up in limbo.
Or go there and get the contract signed as soon as you can. Do it today or tomorrow, maybe.
Well, I'm in New York. That's the whole problem.
DocuSign. Email the contract over.
Okay, perfect.
Worst case scenario, dude, you get it under contract, have your inspector come by, say it's not working. Sorry.
Okay, perfect. My other question was, okay, how do you deal with finding cash buyers? I know one of the strategies that I was going to use, because I use a skip tracer IDI core to basically like do reverse LLC skips, but I don't know if there's any other strategies that you have in mind. Is it just going to the Facebook groups or?
I mean, for what? Finding the seller if you can't find it?
No. Finding the cash buyers, because you know they're all under LLC, so it's kind of difficult.
Yeah. You do the little Facebook trick. I always do. I got plenty of videos on that. You post some ad copy on Facebook groups. You can find them pretty easily from there. You could skip trace LLCs too, cash sales. There's realtors that represent cash buyers, and there's so many. Real estate investing groups. Tampa's an easy one to find cash buyers. So a lot of Tampa groups, if you go search at gmail.com in them, you'll find emails to do. There's so many, but Tampa's pretty easy to do. So that's like your least concern in this market right now. All right. I think his thing popped off by accident, but no big deal. Justin's got his hand raised. Oh, we got two people. All right, let's go. Justin, take it away first.
All right, I got a couple questions. So me and my partner, he got this deal, and the guy has a house he just rented, and I think he's kind of at the market price at what he wants for the house. And he has, I believe, like 3 or 4 other properties that are pretty beat up. But I think he's kind of trying to do like a trial basis with the first house, even though it's rented. And then if more or less, if we do good with this house, he'll go ahead and maybe get a contract up on the other 3 houses. His asking price, like I said, I think it's like pretty much at market. Would you maybe suggest like making pretty much like next to nothing on this house to get to the other properties?
No, I would.
No?
I'd make some though. Maybe make a little, but don't do it for free. But yeah,
Okay.
even make $1 to $2 grand is probably worth it. Yeah.
Okay, just to get to the other properties.
Yeah.
Okay. Then my next one, to start your filters on PropStream, I start with 5 years ownership, 30% equity, non-owner occupied, and that's pretty much like and non-MLS. That's my starter, and then I go to like vacants, pre-foreclosures, stuff like that. Is that something good to start with for as far as filters?
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Is it? Okay. I mean, I was like, because we're having problems like getting contact with sellers at this point right now. Like I'll probably have 4 or 5 different counties right now in Maryland, and each list is roughly around 600, 700 properties, I would say. And we're having like a heck of a time trying to get a seller.
I mean, is it the script tracing that's bad or the actual list?
I mean, we're pulling the list from PropStream and going to batch to skip them.
Okay.
And like most of the people, like I almost feel like everything that we're already skipping has already been picked through by, I guess, other wholesalers or other investors or whatever the case is. But it's just like every person, like everyone that we get to is pretty much everybody's just like, stop effing calling me, blah, 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 along those lines with like almost every single call.
Yeah.
Or text.
That's pretty much expected. What I would do is probably I'd start doing more niche lists. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That'd be way better. Probates are usually the freshest for that.
Right. No, that's You said, I heard you, what, I think it was last week, talk about you can get them online or something like that now.
Yeah, you can get
Like
them
off
online
the
from the county. Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. And is that just like is that like each county or is it like a statewide or?
It's usually by county.
By county?
Yeah.
Okay. And like, is it like your courthouse website or?
Usually the clerk of the court, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think that's all I had for at the moment.
Sweet, man. Let me know.
Thank you.
All right. And then next here is Denny.
Yeah, so I remember my question now, and
All right, man.
Honestly, it's going to piggyback a little bit on what Justin was talking about as well. Obviously, like, everyone's getting tagged up like crazy, and when we jump on the phone with a lot of sellers, too, because they understand. A lot of people are a little bit more. They kind of see what's happening with the market, so they're pushing what they think they should get for the home a little bit higher, which is fine. I mean, obviously, there's going to be education that we've got to do on our part. We got to solve the problems. But my question for you is like, how many of your deals, because I know sometimes they're getting hit with so many low numbers from wholesalers that they're starting to get jaded with that number and kind of put up a wall. How many of your deals would you say that you're actually utilizing maybe some creative financing so that you can, like seller financing, so that you can kind of get closer to their number, but also, get a good wholesale deal out of it, and then also your buyer's going to get a lot out of it as well?
Yeah. So percentage of sellers that want too much of the house and we offer creative financing is 100%. So if someone wants too much for it, I'll tell them to go list it with a realtor. They say no because of X, Y, and Z. Say, well, do you want a good price or do you want the convenience? I want both. Can't happen. So I say, well, possibly I could help you out here. And then you talk about creative financing and payments. So we always go that route all the time. If it's low equity, we just hit them with sub 2. If it's not even good enough, subject to if the equity is just way too low. So we utilize it as much as I possibly can. But I always go for the wholesale first, always.
Sure. Yeah. I think I've lost a lot of leads because I didn't know enough about creative financing to be able to maximize on those deals and have another option. I think too, by having a menu for like your sellers, the sellers, like we'll go for the wholesale first, but then when they kind of balk at that, like, well, we do have other options. So let me kind of walk you through. There's a cash offer. There's a like more of a creative finance, and then I can list it.
Don't do that. You got to give them one choice. Binary, 1 or 0.
Okay.
So I eliminate it. Okay. So wholesale's not going to work. Okay. Let's list it. No. Okay. Well, let's do this. If you give them choices and they think about it and then they don't make a decision, and it turns into analysis paralysis. So I did a whole video yesterday on an action plan. Just do this one. Just don't think about, should I do this? You got to give them an option. You can't give them an option. You got to give them something black or white. That's my offer. You'll do way better. Your close rate will shoot up way more.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is that you present the first offer, and when they're kind of like, no, that doesn't count, then that's not going to work. Then that's when I was thinking of like kind of pushing in the creative financing.
Okay.
At that point.
Yeah. But I confirmed to them that offer's dead. Now this is the only offer on the table. It makes them make a decision a lot better.
Okay.
Like anything, it's like, hey, this is the price right now, or these are the tickets. Like there's no options. It makes it so much easier on the sales side. But yeah, man.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate it.
Sweet. And then Cherry's had a question here.
Yeah, Cheris.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Me being virtual, how would you handle like a buyer wanna walk a property? Because I don't have any like boots on the ground or anything like that. So
yeah,
what do I do?
So either you have to trust the cash buyer if they bought from you before, and have them walk through and just basically read the riot act to them that said, if you do anything to ruin this deal, then you will not get any more houses from me. You can bring a realtor to do the walkthrough with you. I'm not a big fan of that. Or you have that lockbox situation. It's a tough one. Sometimes you just got to trust the cash buyer to walk through it, but it could be tough. It's a hard one, but sometimes you just got to tell them like it is and build that trust.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Sweet, man. No worries. And then let's see. We had Tony. Tony hopped on here. What's up, man?
Yo, what's good, bro?
Doing great, man.
thank you for all the gems you've been dropping. And thank you to everybody else for asking some really good questions. The only quick question I had, it had, well, two questions. One, I've been trying to set up a business bank account, and my real estate coach had told me to use a credit union, but all the credit unions that I've been to, they say that you need like 2 years. You have to have been in business for 2 years, or you can get a business credit card, but it has to be on your personal account. Do you have any suggestions for that part of this stuff? Like if I'm the one that's trying to do the actual flip instead of doing wholesaling?
Mm-hmm. Are you trying to open a bank account or like a line of credit?
Well, a line of credit, but with a business bank account.
I mean, banks are pretty tough with it. I'd go with private money. It's way easier.
Private money.
Way easier.
Okay. And then aside from that, so would you do you recommend using any like DNC scrubbers or anything like that?
Yeah, I use Batch for it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I got.
Sweet, man. Any other questions? Just let me know.
Sweet. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And then that might be it. So anybody have any last questions before we hop off here? I'll answer some YouTube comments if not. All righty, cool. So what I'm going to do here is let's answer some YouTube questions I got here. Remember, guys, if you're on YouTube watching this, Wholesaling House is for real on the pinned comments. That's where you can hop on here and we can get this done. So let's go answer some questions. So it says here, use Fidelity in Tampa. That's a good question about Earnest Money. How many deals do you need to get a fair deal? How many numbers do you need to get a fair deal? It'd be in the thousands, depending on the list. Best way to find a buyer. I found SMS text blasting is pretty good. That's one I'd recommend. The internet. How do I find out how much somebody owes on a mortgage? Usually you could see, I would say listrei.com is the best one. That's what I've seen. Do you have an LLC and you don't know how to find a buyer? Yes, I have an LLC. It's actually a C corporation, but yeah. Let's see here. How to get ARV. I would look at comparables and then try to calculate from there. ARV space flip with the Rick's probably the best ones to find actually how to do this. Let's see. We got some great questions here. Alrighty, Zach, I have a question about vacant land. How do you go about qualifying a land deal instead of a property? If the price is really good and the buyer's willing to pay for extra, that's probably what I would do. Let's see here. What about a failed listings on Rico? That's a really tough one, so I'd be very careful. What's up, Ralph? How are you? People want to be rich, but I have no reason to. Let's see. Got some great questions on here. Try to skip trace a dead person. No luck. How do you go about the next step? The person's dead. You can't talk to them on the phone. So what I would is do a relative. Is PropStream a better option for fix and flipping? It's a pretty good one. So yeah, I would say so. Question: if you had 5 action steps or moves for people to actually do what they would need to do, what they be? Thanks for the content. 5 action steps is start having a morning routine and a budget for your money and your time. Number 2 here, I would say, is start driving for dollars an hour a day. Start cold calling 3 hours a day, and then spend the best action plan. That last one is I would spend an hour every single day trying to network. That's what I would do. Search the deceased owner's obituary to see if they have a family. Yep, perfect. Best way to find buyers. Listrei.com is my favorite. Let's see here. PropStream MLS, previous solds for cash buyers. Yep, that's what I do. Sorry, what do you say about finding buyers? Listrei.com, listrei.com. That's the best way to find it. Just basically, that's PropStream. That's the way to find cash sales. Let's see. I'm currently scrubbing the probate docs. I'm using multiple names. Some same list. Should I only mail grip. I only mail personally to the personal representative. That's basically it. So I think that's it. So I appreciate you guys watching this stuff. Let's see on the gallery any hand raised. I guess we got a couple. So we got Justin. What's up, man?
All right, 2 more. how niche is too niche? Like as far as this size?
Dude, as niche as you can. Just put them on a cold calling list.
Okay.
Super niche
like, I
ones.
know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know in my counties, the populations aren't like the highest. I think like the highest is probably Baltimore City. And I know that market is hit like pretty hard with wholesalers. Outside of that, it's like, I think like the highest is around like 100K as far as like, I guess properties on for I think it's 100K or something like that. I just looked it up for hottest areas or whatever, and it wasn't that high as population, so I wasn't sure like what was too niche.
I mean, I do a bunch of small counties and put them in a big list. That's my favorite.
Just stack them.
Stack them on top of each other, I guess. Get
Okay.
all the probates in all the tiny cities, and it'll be actually a pretty decent list.
Okay. And then me and my partner, we're in different cities, or different states, more or less. Should we try to work more or less together, or should we try to hit different areas and try to spread more? Or
You got to figure out why you're being partners on this one, because if you're just doing one city, they're doing the other city, and you're both making the same amount of money, why are you guys partners at all? It should be to benefit. So he should be able to do stuff that you aren't able to do.
okay, like
and vice versa.
Like he pretty much like how we met. We met like a few months ago when we both first started, pretty much, and like we're helping each other out more or less through this whole process. So, and then we kind of just started partnering up through everything and just trying to like split all our costs in half to try to keep the costs down for each other, and just teaching us like here and there things that like we finding out that each other don't know or whatever. So,
Yeah, I mean, you can make it work. If in that case, depends if you want to scale up. You can have one guy doing all the marketing and the dispositions and one guy do all the acquisitions if you get that big, or you guys do separate cities and kind of see from there. You just got to make that decision. Best to test it out and see what works best. I can't tell you because I don't know what works best in your business.
right.
So I'd probably
I
test it.
know like my superpower, I want to say more or less, is just closing people. Like that's my biggest thing is like, I hate the start. I hate cold calling. That's like, I don't know why, but that's just my thing. I hate cold calling. But after the person's already talked to, like, I can reel them in. I feel like that's like kind of my thing.
We'll see if he likes marketing and see if you guys can work on doing that. Just trying to figure out what the yin and yang is. That would be really good. Then you could focus only on acquisitions and he could focus on the other stuff.
Right.
Try to hammer it down and figure it out.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Sweet, man. Appreciate it. All right. And then Maliko, sorry, I'm saying your name wrong. Raised his hand or her hand. What's up?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's up?
Hey, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah. How do I say your name?
Okay. It's Malicio.
Malicio. Got it. All right. I won't say it wrong next.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. Sweet. So I'm. It's nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
So I've been working on a probate list. I've been going to the courthouse. I've been doing it for the last couple of months, trying to figure it out. Every time I go, I get better and better at looking at the case files. My biggest issue is I don't see a lot of real property, and I pull about at least 50 to 60 records at each time that I go. I just is there a secret to that on how to do like a search if there's any real property, and if there's any way I could actually do that research beforehand?
Are you talking about searching real property of a probate?
Yes, because a lot of them aren't real like actual property, like real estate. It's like it could be like tangibles. It could be like their car or their stuff.
Yeah, there's not an easy way to do it.
Yeah,
it's very manual.
Yeah, so I got really good at it, but I'm only able to find maybe 3 out of 30, you know? And, but here's the thing is that I live in a non-disclosure state. I'm assuming that's probably the reason.
What market are you in?
I'm in Ada County, Idaho.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if it's that way in Texas, because I know it's a non-disclosure state up there too as well. So I'm just curious on how you guys actually come up with that information, because I know that there has to be property on a lot of those cases.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can always look at records if you had to, or you could cold call the whole list and just basically see. The issue is you're not the first guy to have this problem. And that's why probates do very well, because they're very tough to do. You're still finding them, which is good. So, I mean, I would probably just get better at doing the investigative work on there. I would talk to other guys in Idaho and non-disclosure states, how they're doing it very well. It's usually on a county basis why it's hard to do it. So that'd be my advice.
Yeah. So I'm kind of brainstorming here. You know, I've been thinking, well, maybe I could do like a reverse lookup, or trying to figure out how I could actually find a service that can get someone else's info with just their name, because that's all I'm getting is just their names, and not like any property, or even not even the phone numbers, not even the heirs' phone numbers.
I would skip trace it. I mean, I would skip trace all the PRs and cold call them. That'd be the easiest one, man. And then you don't even have to worry about non-disclosure, because it's credit bureau data. So you should be fine on that one. That's probably what I would do.
So what skip tracing service do you use for that?
I mean, I use batch leads. I mean, you use whatever pulls credit bureau data, you should be fine.
Credit bureau data.
So when someone applies for credit, they have to put their name and their phone number, and that's how they find the phone numbers.
Maybe their zip code, at least, if anything.
Yeah, you have to put in some info on it, like the address and the names.
And that's the dilemma right there, is the address.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. I use our REI skip.
All right, we'll try to test it out and see. But yeah, that's probably what I would do.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you. All right, and then last one here before I have to hop off. Let's see. Roland's on here. So Roland, what's up, man? Do you have any quick questions before we hop off here?
Yeah, just quick question, Zach. How do you find out the personal representative or the executor when you're looking at like inheritance list?
Yeah, it should be in the court documents. So
If you get it online though, I don't go. So my state, I'm able to obtain it online, like a subscription service, and I just don't know who I should be contacting as far as the heirs. Like, how do I find out who the personal representative is?
It should be listed on there when you pull it online. If you have to drive up and look at it. It should be on the court docs or the court documents on there.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys hopping on here. If you have any questions, just message me. I really appreciate you guys watching this stuff. Again, I'll be on here every Friday, 6:15 usually. This is at 7 today. But